Hello, movie lovers. Welcome to Recap Stream. The movie introduces us to a woman named Claire, a school teacher. While jogging, she recalls the events she has experienced recently. Trouble fell on the woman like a snowball, and she cannot hide from her emotions. Claire comes to visit her friend Vicky, aware that her husband is cheating on her, and they discussed his correspondence with the secretary from the main office. The friend advises to break off the relationship with the man, but Claire is worried. The couple has a son, and Claire doesn't want to traumatize him. Vicky quotes lines from the man's email to that girl. The heroine is uncomfortable hearing them because she has memorized every word from that correspondence. In the evening, the Peterson family celebrates their son's birthday. Garrett gives Kevin a computer and suggests a family camping trip to Mammoth Lakes. While the son washes his hands, Garrett informs his wife about another business trip to San Francisco. Claire clarifies whether the woman he betrayed her with is still working there, but the man doesn't think it's important. She declines the trip, reasoning that Kevin and Garrett should be in male company before school starts. The woman includes herself in the bathroom to calm down. In the morning, Claire plans to take her son to see a new allergist. Kevin helps his mother open the garage, whose door is jammed. Suddenly, Noah, a neighbor's nephew, comes to the woman's aid. Mr. Sanborn introduces his nephew to the neighbors. The guy examines the garage door and offers Kevin to go with him to the store for the part needed for the repair. The neighbor tells Claire the tragic story of Noah's family. On the way to the store, the guys get to know each other. Noah tells them that he is 20 years old, has missed a lot of schoolwork, and is going to get his diploma at the local school. Kevin tells them that he also studies there, and his mom is a teacher at the checkout counter. The guy asks his new friend to pay for his purchase. Kevin has a crush on Ellie Callahan, the prettiest girl at school. However, Noah insists that the boy approach Ellie himself. The classmates talk, and Noah also gets to know the girl. Suddenly, Jason Zimmer and his friends burst into the store. They see Kevin and want to make fun of him. Ellie defends her friend by chasing the bullies out of the store. This scene is watched by Noah. When the guy has repaired the garage door, he decides to inform Claire about the incident at the store. She was aware of the teen's confrontation and told the story of how Kevin was stung by a bee a few years ago, where Jason's taunts began. The heroine asks that the guy not give the appearance that he knows Kevin's secret. Noah agrees, and they test the garage door. As Claire was reading in her room that evening, she noticed a light in Mr. Sanborn's window. The nephew was helping the old man get settled in bed for the night. The next day, the boys were repairing a car in the Petersons' yard. Noah was showing Kevin how the car's engine worked. Claire got curious and looked out the window. She liked how Noah looked in a t-shirt, and the guy felt the neighbor's gaze on his back. A friend came to the heroine's house for lunch. Vicky appreciated the Petersons' new neighbor. The guy's uncle went to the hospital, and Claire suggested that Noah come to lunch at their place. The boy asked that the woman give him some extracurricular literature lessons, and the women left for the kitchen. Vicky doubted that the guy was really into literature. However, Noah managed to surprise everyone by talking about his favorite work by Homer while Claire washed the dishes. He helped her and talked about poets. They found something that brought them closer together. Garrett was taking his son on the camping trip they talked about the other day. Noah was repairing the roof of the house and watched Kevin leave with his father. The boy decided to give his neighbor a gift, a book they had discussed the day before. The edition was old, and the woman was reluctant to accept such an expensive gift, but Noah persuaded her. Near the couch, he noticed a box with brightly colored shoes. It was a gift from a friend. The guy said that Claire is attractive even without these shoes and went home. In the evening, the heroine decided to try on the shoes. It was raining, and she saw in the neighbor's window the silhouette of Noah. The guy stood at the mirror after a shower. Claire stared at the guy's body. No one noticed her in the mirror and moved closer to the window, but the woman hid behind the curtain. Ba called her friend over for dinner with her friends. She wanted Claire to feel better after her husband's act and asked her to take off her wedding ring for the evening. Vicky's friends told funny stories, but later the conversation turned to the subject of teaching literature in school. One of the men questioned whether there was a useful subject for children. This made the heroine angry. She gave an example of a successful millionaire who was fond of literature and left the company. At home, Claire drank wine and thought about the unsuccessful evening. The cookies on the table did not seem fresh, and she changed her mind about eating them. Suddenly, the phone rang. Noah asked for the woman's help with cooking the chicken. Claire stayed for dinner at a neighbor's house and told her about her bad date. Noah started complimenting the woman. She was embarrassed and wanted to go home. The guy stopped her and admitted that he saw her peeping at him through the window. He helped the woman undress and suggested they get to know each other better. In the morning, Claire woke up at her neighbor's house. Noah brought coffee to the woman. Heroine began to justify her behavior, but the guy thought they were getting closer. He became upset over Claire's behavior and smashed his hand. Claire treated his abrasions and asked him not to pay attention to what happened. Kevin came home impressed by their vacation with his father and asked that Garrett stay for dinner. Claire felt tense about what had happened between her and her neighbor. As she was making tea for the family, Noah arrived. Garrett had heard about this guy from his son. The man chatted, and when the heroine appeared in the dining room, Noah started asking her questions about the weekend. The woman began to get nervous, but the neighbor's hints were clear only to her. In the evening, Clara and her husband went to take out the trash. Garrett asked his wife for a pause in the relationship so that she would not rush to file for divorce because of his mistake. A new school year began. The humble informed Claire that Noah would be in her class. The guy entered the classroom quoting Homer. The heroine decided to clarify with the director of the reasons for the transfer, because Noah had not studied literature in depth before. The director gave the woman recommendations, which were sent from her email. After school, Claire called the guy and asked him not to pursue her. The woman tried to figure out who sent the email to the principal from her email. When her son got home, she tried to find out from Kevin, but a neighbor came with him. Noah said the woman's mail had been hacked and offered to help her. Claire asked her son not to invite Noah to dinner so that the three of them could have dinner with his father. Mr. Sanborn used to be in the military, and the boy knew where his uncle kept his ammunition. He offered to teach Kevin how to shoot. The guys blew off steam on the oranges. Noah tells his friend his version of what happened between Kevin's father and mother. Noah's words weigh on the guy, which is why he starts to get angry at Garrett for his actions at dinner. Kevin yells at his father and informs him that he has decided to take boxing instead of programming lessons. The next day, Kevin is boxing at the gym. When Kevin is blowing off steam by beating up a punching bag, suddenly the guy has a seizure. Noah is worried about his friend and helps him through it. Vicky brings her friend a bouquet of flowers from Garrett. She feels that Claire shouldn't forgive her husband. The woman calls to thank him for the flowers, but Garrett hasn't sent anything. Claire realizes that the flowers were sent by her young neighbor. She finds him at the gym. Noah hits a punching bag. Heroine is outraged by the guy's behavior and the fact that he is turning Kevin against his father. However, Noah argues that Garrett himself did it and she should see it too, and also thank the neighbor for saving her son during training. The couple's conversation is noticed by one of the employees and asks if Claire is okay. The woman thanks the man for his concern and continues to communicate with Noah. She wants to start communicating with him again, and the guy likes the idea. After school, the guy stops by Ellie's store and Kevin invites her to the fall ball. Garrett brings Claire home after the date and wants to actively spend time with his wife. The heroine does not want to rush things and allows her husband to stay the night in the living room. Noah saw the Petersons arrive home and watches Claire's window. The guy can't forget that night when they got to know each other more closely and had an active time. Noah is annoyed that Garrett wants to repair the relationship with his family. Claire agrees to forgive him. In the morning, Garrett says goodbye to his wife on the front porch and drives to work while the heroine is waiting for her son. Noah's car pulls up to their house. The guy is furious. He believes that Claire is playing with him, suggesting that they start their communication from scratch. Kevin watches the fight between them. The mother asks her son not to communicate with Noah because the neighbor is inadequate. But the guy is convinced that Garrett has brainwashed his mother and they are depriving him of his only friend. Kevin gets in the car with Noah and the guys drive off. At school, Kevin is bullied again by a red-haired classmate. Noah takes his anger out on Jason. Vicky tries to break up the guys, but Noah pushes her back into the crowd. As principal, she pulls up the guy's file and asks for references from his past school. It turns out that Noah was kicked out for bullying. The guy doesn't want to talk to Vicky about what happened. He wants to leave, but the woman stops him. Noah says nasty things to the vice principal, and she is going to expel him from the school. In the evening, Kevin is going to the dance with Allie. His mom is happy to see her son so happy and gives him a rose for a girl at the dance. Ellie informs the teacher that a pipe burst in the boys' restroom. The heroine goes to assess the situation. In the mirror, she notices a sign on the stool saying that she had a close call with one of the students. Noah approaches the woman and demands to speak to her. He is not satisfied with the fact that her husband has returned to Claire and wants to remind her of the great time they had together. However, the woman does not want to repeat gymnastic tricks with the guy and pushes him away. At night, loud music comes from Mr. Sanborn's house. In the morning, the heroine finds her pictures in the literature room. She asks the students to wait outside the door and tries to hide the evidence in a trash can. The crowd of students outside the classroom is noticed by the school principal. He calls Clarion to talk about her behavior with the students. A staff member saw her use physical force on Noah. Garrett meets his son from school. He offers Kevin a ride home in his sports car. The father tries to make a calm conversation, but Kevin gets angry. He speeds up and tells his father everything he's had to say for the past 9. The car's brakes fail and they miraculously stop at the water containers. Garrett comforts his son, admitting his guilt and splitting their family. Claire sees the dented car in the parking lot outside the house. In the living room, she sees her husband, son, and neighbor. The men are watching TV. Noah offers to sit down next to her, but the woman is about to put food out in the kitchen. The guy tells everyone he wants to get chips and goes into the kitchen. The woman accuses him of distributing pictures at school, to which the neighboring bites are over for a night out. Claire resents the guy's brash behavior towards her, but agrees to come over at night. She sneaks into Noah's room to take the video from him. The guy promises not to show anyone their video. He doesn't want to let the heroine go, and tells her that the world is big, and somewhere out there, they can be happy. The woman pushes the neighbor away and goes home. In the morning, Claire shows pictures with Noah to her friend Vicky, realizes that the guy is not himself, but they will not be able to prove it to society. The heroine admits that the guy has a video of their active leisure time. Clara is afraid that she may lose everything she has because of her accidental weakness. Vicky promises to help her friend destroy all the evidence. After school, Noah chases after Claire's car. He sees Vicky behind the wheel and realizes that the heroine is going to steal a video from his bedroom. The friend warns Claire of the danger and asks her to leave the Sanborn house. But Claire is determined and wants to find the very video first. The woman finds a hidden camera in Noah's bedroom. She follows the path of a paved cable that extends into the basement of the downstairs. The heroine sees a room where her photos are hung on Noah's laptop. Claire deletes a folder with compromising information, as well as information on cars. The woman guesses that the guy wasn't just looking at the brake schematics of the same car as her husband's for a reason. Finishing her business, she hurries to leave and runs into Mr. Sanborn himself in the hallway. The sudden appearance of the neighbor scares the old man. Claire apologizes and hurries to leave their house. Back at her place, the heroine calls her friend and tells her about what she found on Noah's laptop. She asks if Vicky's boyfriend knows someone from the police, because the heroine's intuition says danger. Suddenly a knocking starts at the door. The woman thinks that Noah wants to enter the house and prepares to defend herself against an uninvited guest. However, on the threshold stands her after talking to Claire. Vicky gets a kick in the head. Noah sneaks into her house. The heroine asks a policeman to familiarize herself with the Sanborn case. She's told that the driver lost control and had an accident. The detective shows the woman what's left of the 2006 minute. The man sees that Claire knows something, but the woman is hesitant to say what she guesses. Kevin is about to spend time with his father when Noah asks for his help. Noah apologizes because of his temper with Vicky. He ties the woman to a chair and starts questioning her about what he and the heroine are up to. When Vicky's phone rings, Noah hears Claire say that the woman was sure the neighbor was involved in his parents' accident and the brake system failure in Garrett's car. The guy turns on the tape where the friend asks Claire to come to her house right away. Claire's met with darkness at her friend's house. The lights do not work, and Vicky does not respond. This frightens the heroine. She is startled by a cat and stumbles over her friend's body with a wild scream. The woman runs out of the house, calling, but Noah won't let her give her the address. The guy pulls Claire out of the car and says that all his actions are for her, because he's protecting the ones he loves. The heroine says, "That's no way to treat those you love." And Noah tells Claire about what his father did to his mother. He invites the woman to take a walk in the barn. Claire sees Garrett hanging body and hears her son's voice threatening Noah. However, the boy says that he loves his friend's mother and it's time for everyone to realize. The woman makes sure her son is okay and raises a tire iron near the table to defend herself. Noah says he wanted to be an example for Kevin, but the kid is too much like his father. Claire tries to convince him that Kevin has changed and stabs Noah with the tire iron. However, it is not enough to stun the neighbor. While the heroine tries to free her son, Noah comes to his senses and pulls her away from the kid. He plans to set the barn on fire and offers Claire a choice: be with him or stay in the burning barn with her husband and son. Garrett manages to jump off the stick. The neighbor has hooked his bound hands on. The man pushes the madman away from his wife and asks her to save herself and her son. However, Noah shoots Garrett and he falls. The guy tries to take the heroine with him, but she starts to fight him. Kevin is freed and wants to help his mother, but his friend is much stronger than the guy. He is going to get rid of Kevin, but Claire tracks him and brings a load down on the guy's head. The son helps the heroine out of the barn. In the final scene, an ambulance arrives to take the Peterson family away from the scene. Claire tells her husband that she and her son are by her side and will soon all go home together. And here's the end. If you enjoyed this recap and want to stay updated with all our future content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any recap from us. Thanks for watching.